In this social class, we are going to learn what is history. In Unit 1, history is the study of past events in chronological order. Chronologicalனா அதோட அர்த்தம் கால வரிசைன்னு சொல்லுவோம். இட் மே பி அபவுட் அன் ஆப்ஜெக்ட் ஆர் அபவுட் ஹியூமன் ஆன்சிஸ்டர்ஸ். அதாவது கடந்த கால நினைவுகளை காலை வரிசைப்படி அறிவது தான் ஹிஸ்ட்ரின்னு சொல்லுவோம் தமிழ். அது ஒரு பொருள் பற்றியும் இருக்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா ஒரு மனிதனை பற்றியும் இருக்கலாம், நம்ம முன்னோர்கள் பற்றியும் இருக்கலாம். To understand history better, timeline is very important. Whenever we see about event, we have to mention with the year because it would be easy to understand past events in history. The timeline is mentioned using the year BC or AD. BC or BCE, or we can say before Christ or before Common Era. AD or CE, or we can say Anno Domini or Common Era. In this timeline, you can see the numbers which denote periods. You can also notice 0 in the middle. The period that mentioned before 0 is called BC. And the period that mentioned after 0, they are called as AD. When we talk about the events in history, it should come from left to right. That is, when we mention the events happened in BC, you have to reduce the year, that is 2500, 2000, 1500, 1500. And when we mention the events happened in AD, you have to increase the year, that is 500, 1000, 1500, 2000 and 2500. I think you would have understood, students. In this box, we can see the term history has been derived from the Greek word historia. That is, historia means learning by inquiry. And you can also see two pictures. This proves that ancient people lived in caves and they used to draw paintings in rocks. These paintings are called rock paintings. Through this rock paintings, we understand the lifestyle and hunting activities of Old Stone Age people. Prehistory refers to the period of time before civilization and written records. That is, prehistoric people mostly lived in caves. They exposed their lifestyle by painting as they do not know any language, so there is no any written records. And civilization means the period when people started living in groups, they started growing crops and tamed animals. These are found in written records, materials, biographies, etc. And coming to the information bit, numismatics. Numismatics are the study of coins, and epigraphy are the study of inscriptions. Sources of history. Sources of history are of two types: archaeological sources and literary sources. In archaeological sources, we have coins, artifacts, inscriptions, and monuments. Archaeological is the study of materials that dig down from the cities. And now, coins. Coming to the coins, it is a piece of metal which is used as a money, and it gives information about the king's richness. And artifacts. Toys, potteries, tools, and ornaments are called as artifacts. In this, toys and potteries, they are mostly made of from muds, and tools and ornaments are made of from stones. Inscriptions are nothing but written records on stones, pillars, clay, caves, and walls of temples. And monuments. Monuments are statues or structures that is built for a person or an event. And some examples are palaces is Thirumalai Nayakar Mahal, and for fort we can say Velur Fort. Temple, Sanchi Temple, and monastery is Tabang. And next we'll come to the literary sources. Literary sources are means of information in the form of writing. That is, we have secular literature, that is, epics and poems, accounts by foreign travelers, works by Indian authors, and folk songs and ballads. Religious literatures have epics and devotional literature. Epics is a long poem. We can say Ramayana, Mahabharatam. And in devotional literature, we have religious texts or poems. That is Devaram, Nalayira Divya Prabandham, and Tiruvasagam. The next we are going to see about mighty Emperor Ashoka. He was a famous ruler of ancient India, and he was the first ruler who gave up the war after the victory because he felt sad on seeing many people dead for his victory. In his period, Buddhism was spread to different parts of Asia. He devoted his life to spread peace and dharma, and he also served for public welfare. He was the first person to build hospitals for animals, and he also laid roads. And in our national flag, the 24 spokes which we have is took from Sarnath pillar. The national emblem is also taken from this Sarnath pillar of Ashoka. The Sarnath pillar is in Uttar Pradesh, and the animals which are found in this Sarnath pillar are lion, bull, elephant, and horse. Even though Ashoka was a great ruler, his greatness was unknown until 19th century. The material evidence of Emperor Ashoka was provided by William Jones, James Prinsep, and Alexander Cunningham. And Charles Allen wrote a book about the search for the India's lost emperor. The inscription on rocks, Sanchi Stupa, and Sarnath pillar gave a lot of information. In the next page, we can see proto-history. That is, the period for which records in writings are available but not yet deciphered is called proto-history. The meaning of deciphered is, that is, to convert something from a code into normal language. And they also say the ancestors did not live in a safe environment. As they lived in open caves, wild animals may enter and cause danger. So they tamed dogs as they had a sniffing skill. So dogs were used for protection and hunting. So we have come to the end of this lesson. We shall meet in the next class with a new lesson. Thank you, students.